Welcome to Pull the Pin Already. This is a continuation from a previous war room. We pulled it back a little bit just so you can see how it all started. Enjoy it.
Let's make the presumption that this redlining is the reason. It would fall the same when we talk about slavery and reparations. Redlining was done by bankers, right? I'm not going to give you a loan to live in this area because we don't want you in this area because you're black. That's what redlining was, okay? So you find a banker and have a banker now go subsidize that. You might have an argument with me. But the regular schlep that's just getting up every single day and going to work and paying his bills and doing what he's supposed to, he now has to pay for something that he wasn't completely ever involved in, and probably pay to somebody that wasn't involved either. That's more morality that I whatever. It's all political theater.
So is it? What would be the solution to that? Just, hey, it's a part of our history. Move on. Let it go.
Yeah, hey, 40 years ago, they used to not give us loans based on our color. That's kind of fucked up, everybody. Everybody agree with that? Yeah, everybody agree with that. Why do I, who have nothing to do with it, have to now pay you, who probably had nothing to do with it or had nothing done to you, to try and make up for it's the sins of the father?
You look
right. So my thing is now, is your position, if you were back then discriminated against, you should receive something? And if you receive something, should it come from that banking institution?
You would have a much more legitimate argument in my book if, yes, you could prove that you were personally wronged by that person, and then that person is culpable for personally wronging you. But to make someone who has nothing to do with it now culpable, even if you were personally wronged, and how many times is it not that how can you prove that you've been personally wronged? But if I had nothing to do with it, you're just creating another wrong to try and make a past wrong right. You're still in the wrong.
Yeah, I think
I have to disagree.
Well, I think we're taking this the wrong angle, and I think that's what's going on. Like, to me as an American, if there's low economy, no matter what color they are, like, I would be full on board to bring people up to middle class and spending my money to help people in poverty, period. Like, but to turn this into a you owe me or you owe them because of something you didn't do, that's where I think you get a lot of resistance. Like, I'm all for helping poverty people. If my taxpayers go to this community because these people can't afford their houses, by all means, that's not a problem to me, because that's helping out the country. And like Nate was saying earlier, is that if you're going to start picking and choosing, how are you picking and choosing who? And you, even Mike, as a black man, would say, well, where's mine? Well, I can trace that. And then there's going to be some interfighting about who's getting paid what. And then the lines are going to be so blurry and so drawn that it's going to create a bigger problem.
So what's the solution? Let it go?
I said, put money into the poor, period, whatever color they are. If people want reparations, like, I get it. When it happened, I get it. It didn't happen. It didn't fix. So now we're so far beyond it. Like, what do we do? I mean, do we go back and yell at the first caveman who decided he wanted 2 wives, and now we got some misogyny going on? Like, who pays for that?
That's what I was going with. Do we owe all the Native Americans housing grants too now?
I wouldn't have a problem with that.
Where are you going to live?
I don't care. I really don't, man. Because, listen, if you want to say 40 years ago, 100 years ago, what happened? Right? Government discriminated, treated, oppressed, whatever. Right? Let's keep it right there. So then 10 years go by. It starts to get a little better in the eyes of some. Right? But we still have this issue going on. 20 years later, now we're up to about 30 years past the era that we're speaking on. And people are saying, hey, man, that's history, man. Just forget about it. Right? But those people will do something. Your government has done something to people. Now, just to paint over it and say, hey, let's get past that. Just get past that. I'm like, hell no. No.
Well, you're acting like nothing was ever done. That's not the case. I mean, affirmative
Well,
action was
okay.
all like those things were done.
What
I
was
mean,
done?
well, affirmative action, all the things that were put in place may not have been enough for you, but as things are progressing, things were done. It wasn't like people just said, "Oh, screw it, you got to deal with it." It wasn't like that. So
Yeah, but
reparations now
yeah, but don't you disagree with affirmative action?
for yours, yeah, I
Yeah,
do.
right. So here I go. So you have this affirmative action program or whatever that's trying to do something for people who were once oppressed or whatever, right? And now you have people saying, "Hey, nah, that should go away. That should go away." So when is it going to be something repaid to people who were once oppressed or treated or who were
Well,
discriminated?
I don't disagree with affirmative action in its intent, just like unions. I think unions had a place in their time because things were not fair. They were put in place for that. And now unions have taken it too far. It's all taken it too far. At some point, when Mike, when you come up and show up my house and say, "Hey Jim, I'm going to teach you how to cook so you can feed your family," at some point I have to learn how to cook. I can't keep saying, "Mike, you need to come back. My kids are starving. Mike, you need to come back. My kids are starving." So I don't know at what point do your children have to keep coming back to my house because I'm still not cooking. At what point does that stop?
I don't know, but I'll tell you right now, just on some of the conversations we've had, I'm glad it doesn't. I'm glad it doesn't. Because you have a group of people in America who believe racism to this day exists, right? But damn it, get over it. So when you have something like racism that still exists, it's just like I told Tim, I'm just shocked that we still have to have programs like affirmative action. That's what I'm shocked about. Because
We don't have to have them. We
say
don't.
what? Yes, yeah, we do.
No, we don't.
We do.
No, we
Yes, we do.
don't. Absolutely not.
Okay, so what's the solution then? Paul, hold up. If a company doesn't want to hire me because of the color of my skin, right? But they'll hire you and you're less qualified or whatever, right? It's just wrong, right? And I've already talked on a previous show with Tim and Jim, and I showed them, and it's happening to this day. To you, it's okay.
Like American Pie. It's happening all over like American Pie. Or is it happening to a certain
but
people?
I'm not getting a response to my question. To you, it's okay.
There's lawsuits. You can sue companies these days for discriminatory
You're not
hiring.
answering my question. To you, it's okay.
Hold on. So clarify your question to me. I'm not getting what you're at. What's
going on today, right?
Racism will go on from the very first day.
I ain't asking you about the
very
first
last
day. I'm asking you about today. Racism exists today, right?
To think that you can eradicate it is silly.
Yeah, against all races it exists.
Nobody's talking about eradicating anything.
So yeah, it exists
So
today.
if you
It exists
have-
yesterday. It's going to exist tomorrow. What's your point?
So what do you do about it?
You go out there and you live your life the best as you can, and you make the best of what you can make yourself out of. That's what
So whatever happens, just get over it.
I know what we do. Gun control. Didn't
Am I
we already
right?
determine that?
Whatever happens, if it's racism, any type of oppression, whatever, just get over it and live your life.
No. You remove the means of oppression. So back to red laws. 40 years ago, that was removed. Why are we still having the conversation? Why are we still having the conversation?
It still exists.
Because you look at Asian Americans. Look at Asians that come here. Within 2 generations of coming from really fucked up places, they exceeded a high level. Do you think they go like, man, when I was in Vietnam, I was like really fucking oppressed, and like somebody that looks like you, somebody that looks like me, something for nothing that you did and nothing that happened or may have happened to me.
It happened.
It's a fucked up notion, Mike.
Past 2 weeks. You still haven't Asian the past 2 weeks. It doesn't matter who it's going to. I agree with Mike. It's going to always exist, and it will. You're always. It doesn't matter what color, what race you are. Someone's going to hate somebody.
Sure.
But like I said, how do you fix that? How do you get people to understand that?
Well,
to what? Fix racism? To fix that people are going to make judgments based on people's skin? I don't know. You prove them wrong.
So you have these communities out here, right? Where if I want to start my own business, I can't get a loan. But just like these Asians you talk about, they can go into banks and get a loan, and then they can start and they could build themselves up that way. But then certain people, certain demographics can't.
Well, so wait a minute. It has nothing to do with past economic behavior. It has nothing to do with
you can't just generalize
credit.
That just because they're black.
That's bullshit. Man. Like,
I'm
never on a credit application put my color.
Hold up. So, just like you said about the Asians and what they did, right? You can speak on that, but you're saying I can't speak on the demographic and what's been done?
You want to. You can speak on it all you want to.
But you just said that's not right, though.
Have you ever? Did you? I've never once, when I've done a credit application, put I'm a Caucasian on it. It's my credit score. It does. It matters 100%. It matters my credit score. How much money have I saved up? How much delayed time preference have I had? I lived next door to like 20 fucking Chinese guys, lived in a shithole apartment. They saved up all their money. That's how they do it. Right? You can't say they're going, hey, fuck the black guy. But this guy came over here on the boat. We're gonna like fawn all over and give him money. Come on, Mike. That's nonsensical, Mike. I know you don't believe that.
I'm kind of, you know.
I'm not talking about the Japanese guys. I'm not talking about the Asians themselves. I'm not talking about them. You're talking about them. You're the one that injected them into the conversation.
That's correct, right?
Yeah,
what you're saying is
Nate, I'm sorry.
Go ahead, Nate. Go ahead, man.
I'm gonna go on Mike's side. I can't say I feel his frustration, but I can see it in his face and I can feel it in his voice. There's laws out there. Who enforces them? Yeah, there's laws against this and laws against that. You know, there's who enforces them? No, Mike's still going to get discriminated against because he's black. Even though there's a law against it.
But how do you say that, Nate? That's my question. How do you say that? Like, where's the proof? Where's the burden of proof to say it's discrimination because you're black?
Dude, you just hold up.
Yeah, tell me that.
Let me ask the question again. Do you believe racism exists in America?
Yes, I've met many black people who are racist against white. I've met Asian people against. Don't do that. But that's the truth. That's your question. Your question is racism.
Let me ask you this then.
You didn't say white people against racism.
Okay, I'm going to ask you. Do you believe there's white racist people in America?
Yes.
Do you believe there's white racist people who are in power in America? When I say
there's probably some, sure. I'm sure there's probably some. Yeah.
All right. So why is it that every time somebody mentions something about racism, well, you can't really? How do you prove that? How do you prove it? It's like you got to jump on the disproving boat before you even agree with something that's racism.
How do you prove racism? That's my question.
You just said you see it.
Jim, you said it exists.
Because it's a thought. It doesn't. To me, racism has to be an action. And redlining could have been racist, right? Could we not? It's obviously redlining was racist because they were choosing, because they said, because of your color, we're not giving you a loan. They said that. If they just said, we're not giving you a loan, you implied the color, right? But if they say that, that's racism. If they're thinking it, how do you prove that? How do you prove what a person's thinking? Like you already just saw it in Boulder. You saw it in Boulder. This is a white guy who went in.
It's been proven. If you apply for a loan, if Mike applies for a loan and you're both have the same credit score, you're both equally everything except your color. It's been proven that you will. Do we have to Google it and send you a link? I mean, it's been proven.
I can't. Yeah, Google, because I can't believe this conversation is so shallow.
Yeah, I need a citation for that too.
I'm not denying it's so shallow to think.
Wait a minute.
So it's just this day.
All right. So if you say racism, give me an example of some racism act that you've seen in your personal life that deals with white people being racist.
Some racist act that deals with white people? I didn't
hear the beginning of that.
Yeah. Just give me an example in your personal life where a white person was racist against any other.
Well, I think you just said that, right? You said redlining. So if somebody said, I didn't see it, I wasn't here with redlining.
I asked you to do something in your personal life that you say, damn, that guy's racist.
The only thing I could probably recall is somebody using that sacred N-word when they're not supposed to. That's probably the only thing. And to me, that's, ignorance.
Probably the only thing. So you have no example in your life that you can point to.
Yeah.
Okay, what about you, Paul?
Yeah, I see people that make generalizations based on pigment on all different types of pigment. That happens from white people to other people and all other people. But like, no, I live in the agrarian South, and this on this notion of racism, the white people just I don't see it. I just don't. I mean, maybe it's just because I'm white and I'm just oblivious to the fact that I see hardworking people and they see hardworking people. We hold the door open for each other and we call each other sir and ma'am and wish each other nice days regardless of our pigment. So, I mean, I saw it when I did my paramedic rotations in New York City. Absolutely. But I just don't see it in my day-to-day life. I think that's the beauty of it is you can just cry, oh, that's just racism. And then all of a sudden, all intellectual discourse just ceases. It stops. Right? One of the things you don't talk about race. So all you got to do is accuse you of being racist, and then the discussion's over. That's it.
No, it's not. That's the problem to me. The discussion is over because it's people like you and Jim who sit there and say, no.
How do you mean it's over? Well, we talk about it. We just don't see it the way you see it. I don't see it the way you see it. And I've seen...
And that's the problem. That right there is the problem, Jim.
It's not a problem.
Yes.
It's my opinion. It's my opinion.
Doesn't mean that's not a problem just because it's your opinion. Your opinion can be a problem.
Well, if I have to pay for something and it's my opinion, then why would that... I don't get that. Like, I'm supposed to support something I don't see?
No, I'm not saying you're supposed to do anything. You're incapable of seeing something from a different perspective.
And this sounds mutual.
You and I know each other how long?
But
how long have we known each other, right?
You're doing this to me right now. You're saying that I can't see yours, but then you're not willing to see that I don't see it.
You never do when it comes to races. You don't.
How do you?
Oh, so is this only white people can be racist? Is this the argument?
No, I'm not saying that. But keeping it in the context of the conversation, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
I'm not saying black people can't, Asian people can't. I'm not saying that. You guys, you try to bring other demographics into it, right? Because you can't see a white person being racist.
No, that's not true.
We just said that.
That's completely not true. You're making that up. You're totally that's not what either.
Okay, Jim. Once again, okay, Paul. I got you, Paul. Jim. Once again, in your personal life, can you name an instance that you agree with a white person being racist?
What do you mean? That I agree with them?
Yes.
I think it's stupid.
Paul,
I think it's stupid to judge somebody on their pigment.
I'm not asking you, Paul. I'm talking to Jim.
I understand that question. Can I agree? What do you mean?
Yeah. If somebody told you a story or you witnessed something and you said, yeah, that guy's racist. Or anything.
I don't understand it. If you're telling me if you thought somebody was doing something racist to you, you thought he was a racist, could I agree with you?
Paul, can you answer? I see what Jim's doing. Paul, can you see what I'm saying?
What do you mean what I'm doing? I'm trying to understand the question.
Yeah.
All right, this is the third time now, okay? Third time. Has there ever been a time in your personal life where somebody said this white person was racist and you agreed when you heard the story, seen it, or whatever?
Yeah, I've seen white people be racist, and usually
I wasn't talking to you yet, Paul. I wasn't talking to you.
I almost got beat up by a bunch of rednecks in Alabama.
Oh, so you did see something, Jim?
Yeah.
Okay, but when I first asked the question the same way, you couldn't think of anything.
But it's not apple pie. That's the problem. Is this conversation?
I don't care about apple pie. I'm talking about something in your personal life. If somebody would have asked me the same question, Mike, have you ever had anybody in your life, black person, say how much they hate white people? Hell yeah. Yeah, they're racist. I can admit that.
I still don't understand. What's the conversation? What does it mean?
You know what? Just forget it. Forget it, man.
I don't understand.
Right there. This is ended.
I don't know what that means. We all agreed there's racist people. We said that. What is the...
But every time something's mentioned, you guys jump on it's not racist. Racism, that's what I'm saying.
No, we're talking about reparations. We're talking about one group of people that were victims of racism collecting, and you're telling me that we're just bringing in other groups like they're irrelevant.
Okay, that's what you got from all of that?
Well, that's where we started. I don't know where it went after that.
Well, yeah, you just summarized the whole thing. That's what you got from it?
That's a trick question. I'm not falling.
No, it's not. That's what you got from it. What I got from it is this. It's because of people like you, right? It's because of people like you that I say affirmative action and all these other programs out there to help people who were once oppressed, being oppressed, whatever, exist today. Plain and simple. And if you don't like it, so be it. But I say it's because of people like you can't see anything from a different perspective, right? It's like I told you before, Jim, I don't know what it's like to be a single dad, right? So if somebody tells me something about a single dad, I'm like, okay. Like if you tell me, I'm like, okay. All right. From his perspective, that's what he got. So that's all I can speak on is with Jim as a single dad, as Jim as a white single dad, as Jim as a great guy, single dad. That's the perspective.
Right. And
right? When it's somebody else, it just seems like there's racism in America, but you guys can't agree with something that somebody's saying is racist. I don't get that.
Well, I asked for clarification right from the beginning. How do we know? How do we know when someone's racist? Because you could say, I could tell you all the stories I want as a single dad, and you could believe me all you want, but does that mean I'm right? Does that mean I'm other biased?
Yeah.
Right, and that's great.
Because it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I trust you, right? And I trust your perspective. It's just like Nate when he was talking about getting pulled over for the tinted windows, right?
Yeah. Well, I want facts. I want facts. I don't want. If I tell you being a single dad is hard, is that true?
Okay, but if somebody says something is racist to them, or they were treated by a race, or there was a racist act against them, it's already they're lying before you even get the facts, right?
Oh no! I didn't say they're lying. I'm saying when you're going to accuse somebody of being a racist and you can't even tell me how that looks, define how you know he's racist. Because he pulled me over because he thought I was this. Define that. Because you've been a cop and you've pulled people over, right? How many times have you pulled people over for the color of their skin?
About 5.
What color did you pull over?
All right, what color were they? Anyways, my point being is, I don't know what's in your mind, right? If I was a non-cop saying you pulled me over for something and you said, no, well, which story do you believe? It's not that I can't believe Nate. I'm just saying, how does Nate proving that this guy pulled him over because of the color of his skin or whatever? Because some other cops said they were going to? That's not proof. That's not evidence. That's still all speculation. So we're talking about facts here. Tell me what the facts are.
Known history is not facts? Known history is not facts?
No. Can you prove the future by your history?
I didn't say future. I said known history is not facts.
Okay, well, the presence. So just because some cop pulls a bunch of people over, does that mean everyone he pulls over is going to be the same reason? Does it? No, right? That's why we have courts, because courts bring these things up.
The thing is this. What you're missing is you're talking about one individual person saying, oh, he did this.
Yes.
But when you have a collective saying, oh, look at the data. The data shows that these amount of people get pulled over before the other, right?
Okay.
Yeah. They have that data. To me, right, from what I see from people, and I don't know if you take it bad or whatever, but what I see from most white people in America, they'll jump on the other side before they even want to see it from another perspective.
Because you're true.
That's what I see in America.
That one cop told me that, but it was known for that cop's department. This other department does this.
So all the department is racist.
No,
That's what you just said.
Okay, whatever, man.
It could have been.
Right.
What's the report line?
Hey, really quick, Mike, I want to interject this. The whole reason I interjected the demographic, right, is because I think that the narrative is used against blacks in America to keep them down. You can't succeed because of some shit that happened 40 years ago, 70 years ago, 150 years ago, 220 years ago, and it's all okay but I'm here to hook you up. You just vote for me and I'll hook you up. And so I don't think that that's empowering the black community to do that. I think taking the obstacles away from the black community and saying, hey, you go out there and make your own, you write your own narrative. I think that's way more empowering to say, we'll just take care of you. It's okay, man. It's not your fault. your ancestors were slaves 150 years ago, and I'll take care of you. I think that's a destructive narrative to that community that's destroying that community. Just my opinion.
But it's a narrative that keeps on going still to this day.
Because it works. Look, people are fighting about it. It works. Keeps us fighting, so we ain't paying attention to what they're doing.
Which could be a true statement.
Yeah,
Could be, right? Or it could be completely false.
Depends on what you want to believe.
Because there's no proof I can give you right now to support it. I can't speak for those people. I'm only giving you my assessment from my perception.
I don't believe that blacks in America can't succeed, because I know too many of them that have succeeded. And they all have the same shit in common. They all work hard. They all improve themselves. They all have a good work ethic. That should be the same for everybody across the board. No barriers put in front of them. But to tell me that a black man can't succeed or a black woman can succeed in this country because of slavery, that's bullshit. Because I have, maybe it's anecdotal, but I know way too many people that are successful. One of them on this show right now that had a good work ethic and is a smart person that's improved themselves. So to tell me that they can't do it because of something that happened in the past, I'm going to call bullshit and use.
I'm going to call you a liar right now.
Wow.
You didn't.
I'll call him a liar.
No, I'm gonna think me and Mike agree with you, but they've been through a lot of shit.
Interrupt me, man. I was going somewhere with that. Paul is lying his ass off right now.
Because then you can't get any reparations.
No, because he just spoke about somebody who had good work ethic and all these positive things about him. I was like, he doesn't know Nate. He's lying his ass off. You know?
Wait, Nate? What?
Sorry,
you guys blew together for a reason.
Well, you know what?
But
I agree on that, Paul. They've probably been through a lot of shit to get there. That's all. Go ahead, Jim. What's next topic?
No, hold up, Paul. I'll tell you this.
This is going to be our longest episode.
Yeah, I know, man. It's going to have to be a part 2. But I'm not saying that I don't jump on that bandwagon about people can't make it because of slavery or whatever. I'm not going back that far. That's why I kind of wish you were on the show with Tim and Jim, where I asked the question, what would you guys say where there's a company today where the guy was asking about a certain position, a high up position, right? And it's a position that I had applied for. And he was asking about it, and the recruiter said, "Oh, that's great. I think you'll be a good fit for it. Hey, send me a picture. Send me a picture of you so I can see if you read." I was about to say the company name. If you can meet the company's profile. And he was like, "Wow, I couldn't believe it when she asked me that."
Was it Hooters?
Yeah. And what happened was, and he's a white guy, and I don't think you know him, Paul. We're overseas, but you left before he had got over there. But it's a white guy, and he was like, "Damn, man, she done violated so many, ethics rules or whatever." He said, "But the funny thing is, I sent my picture." Because
wait. Could it be a face model? Because they might need a picture for a face model.
Yeah.
And so, Mike, on that notice, what happens if we got enough white guys? We can't hire you. We need a black guy. Actually, if we have a black woman, we check off 2 lists. We have a woman and a black woman on there. So
yeah, absolutely.
So would that be correct if that guy went, "Hey, he's really qualified, but yeah, you're a little too white for me right there, and we've already got enough white people based upon the percentage there, so we need to hire a black guy just so we can make our 13%. Would that be correct?
Yes.
It would?
Yeah. You want to know why?
That sounds racist as fuck to me. But
no, hear me out. It's because it's like I said about affirmative action. It's something that's needed but desperately needs to go away. I might have that backwards.
I would be pissed if I was hired solely upon my pigment.
How much they pay?
Insulted.
I mean,
you know where I go with that. If it's
yeah, and okay, so and something you said earlier, like, "Hey, I'm gonna hire a bunch of less qualified white people just because they're white." like the market will punish the shit out of that, right? So now you're going to pay more for less quality just because of pigment. The market's going to punish your ass. Just
Not
saying.
always, bro.
Yeah, not always. And there's the onesies, twosies, and yeah, you may get fucked. But if someone goes, "Hey, you're really qualified, but I don't want you to work here because you're pigment," why would you want to work there?
Well, come on now. Now that's another at least 30 minutes because we had that conversation against the generators. All right,
Hey, I really don't like you. Like, oh, please, can I come work for you? You think
Yeah,
I'm a piece of shit?
I got you.
Can I come work for you? Come on, please.
I got you. And you know I agree with that because I'm not gonna if I send something with a company, I'm not gonna work for them.
Correct. But you're a skilled, talented person that worked hard. You worked hard to get to the point where you can do that.
Oh, so you were talking about me? Okay.
Yeah, and there's a lot of other people, regardless of pigment, that haven't, and they don't make it because of it. Does it have to do with their pigment, or does it have to do with their effort?
There's a flip
And
side to that too.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a flip side to it. You know how many people, I guess to use the term, make it based solely on the pigment?
This isn't quite, I don't know if it's racist, but so I applied for a job, right?
Oh.
I didn't get selected, but they said I was the second selection. So yeah, I emailed and said, hey, what can I do better? What did I do good? He said, oh, you did everything good. Someone's more qualified. But on your resume, you could put your education and this on there. What's my education? Did I qualify for the job based off my experience or not? I'm in the government. I don't need education for any job in the government, unless it's a doctor or engineer, blah, blah. So no, I don't put anything with dates on my resume. So they don't know my age. I don't put my education on there, so they don't even know what degree I have. I'm applying. So basically, I was discriminated against because I didn't have education on my resume. Essentially, that's the way I got from the email back, right?
Yeah.
I write heterosexual white male all over my resume. That's just it. Like from this day to this day, I was a heterosexual white male, and from this day, same thing. And people just like falling all over themselves to give me jobs.
You have no idea, Paul. I have not done one successful thing in my life, and everything has worked out because of my color. Everything. I just couldn't believe it. It was amazing.
Yeah.
Everything just fell on my
lap. I got stationed in Hawaii.
That's exactly it. Didn't have anything to do with me re-enlisting for another 5 years. It had everything to do with me being white.
You're listening for K9 and not getting it. What's the next?
And in fact, it was a white guy that tried to take my canine slot, right? And then when I told on them that he was doing it illegally because we had a order of merit list, they told me to pick somebody I wanted to go. And I'm not even going to tell you the color of the skin the person that went with me, and it wasn't because of the color of skin, because it was somebody I admired who was working hard, who wasn't white. So I broke the cycle for you, Mike. Racism is done.
As long as you're alive, I doubt it.
Hey, Aunt Jemima is no more. Racism is dead.
Hey, we still got Uncle Ben's.
Yeah, he's gone too.
That's crazy, right? Aunt Jemima was
Uncle Ben's gone too.
Her.
Jim, you got a topic? You got a headline?
I do have one last one, and we can close the show out after this one.
Yeah. Oh, Jesus. Last one? I don't even want to see it, man.
Yeah, you do. It's good. Georgia man receives final paycheck of $915 in oil-covered pennies with a FU note. That's how your paycheck is coming, Mike.
Yeah.
Hey, $9.15 is $9.15. I don't care how you give it to me.
And I'm going to tell you, you might find a gold mine in them pennies. So I'm all for it.
That's true. He must have really pissed somebody off, man.
Well, think he had to count them too.
Yeah.
So the joke wasn't only on the paycheck receiver.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was, man. That's something. That's deep.
You're right. They had to count 950 of the pennies and then had to give it to him. You're right. Yeah.
Yeah. That he really made somebody mad.
What do you do?
I don't know, but maybe he's a racist. Maybe he's a racist.
No. See, you gotta read the story. It was a black guy. He worked for an all-white company.
Oh, that's exactly why. Yeah. Right.
It was Paul's Industrial Services was the name of the company.
And he doesn't hire educated people either.
Oh no.
I would have at
Hey,
least spelled out the fuck you on the note. I wouldn't have been like F asterisk asterisk K.
Well, I'm sure the headline did that. The note probably didn't have the asterisk.
You know what that guy got? His final paycheck, so who gives a fuck?
Right. And probably not a recommendation for his next job.
Yeah, probably not. Definitely not. Definitely.
All right, guys, I think we got to close this out because, Mike, whenever we go into those little rabbit holes and you know they're going to go that way, you got to stop it and say, let's do an episode.
I blame Paul.
Okay, well, you got to tell us, Paul, because you're a co-host. You got to stop and say, let's go into another episode with this stuff. Because you know where it's going. It always does.
I blame Paul. Bye.
That white guy again. Oh, no, that guy's back.
Mike's blaming me. It's like a conspiracy with my wife. I get blamed for everything.
You know, he hasn't got an episode without throwing a woman under the bus, has he?
Who? Paul?
Yeah.
No comment. That's why y'all get along.
Hey, in the eyes of a woman, I'm like Trump. Everything's my fault.
Yeah. Oh, wait. Hey, Jim, you know me. I started looking over my shoulder. You start talking about women.
We're still waiting on that guest appearance, Mike.
Yeah, don't worry about it. It ain't happening.
Why won't she come on?
Huh?
Why won't she come on?
All
She a
right.
veteran?
Hey,
That's your eighth-
you're still recorded, Mike. We're still live, so why don't you save that for the after party? Let's go ahead and say, Paul, thank you for coming on.
Thanks for
Nate,
having
thanks for coming on. You're both welcome to
Thanks,
hang
guys.
out in the waiting room.
Yeah, please
and for
wait
the
in
after
the
party.
waiting room, though.
Yeah, because Mike's not done with you. All right, guys. and unless you've got something more to add to this already growing long show.
Oh, I wanted to do a quick pull the pin.
Okay.
Yeah, real quick. Hey, those are the type conversations I love to have with people, one, that I served with in some capacity. So there's really no animosity there as much as you hear the passion and everything. But these are people that I've known. I mean, everybody knows Jim's a racist, but these are people that I've known Jim for what, 20 years plus? And
I didn't answer that question because I couldn't remember.
Yeah, Nate, I've known him for over 20 years. Paul, well over 10. So it's like there's a brotherhood there that's not going to let that's racism or whatever type topic. It's not going to break it. We can talk about it, be passionate about it, but the love is always there. Minus love for Jim, you know.
Right. And no matter how bad a racist I am, Mike knows that if he is the victim of racism, I will come defend him any minute, unless there's more money for me. That is all the time we have. Thanks for coming in the War Room. Thank you, guys. Until next time, Godspeed.
Hey, and pull the pin.
Thanks for joining us here. Pull the pin already. We hope you had as much fun as we did. If you like what we do, go ahead and hit that like button and share this video with a friend. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell button so you don't miss out on any of our future episodes. But most importantly, leave a comment below. Let us know if you agree or disagree with our opinions. Hope to see you here next time on Pull the Pin Already.